Hello traders, welcome to Flow with the Markets Wednesday, volume 232. Now let's have a look what has happened all the way from Monday up until today and to potentially see what we could be doing today and for the days after. We're having some very key developments, especially today is very key to see how the daily candle is going to close and also how the 4-hourly time frame is going to develop. So without further ado, let's roll the intro and get straight into it. All right, on Flow with the Markets, you know that we don't do transitions, we don't do also pauses and stuff like this. So today we have GDP for the pound that is already out, and we have this 30-year bond auction. I'm not sure how much of a volatility this is going to introduce into the market. So my thought process for today was potentially after CPI yesterday that came in very volatile. It didn't give us a very clear direction, which is something that I don't like. But of course, based on the volatility, I thought that today is going to move. Today looks so far extremely choppy. Potentially in preparation for tomorrow, where we have PPI for the US, retail sales and unemployment claims all at once. So that is a bunch of news right here that I do believe are going to definitely move the market. So tomorrow, US session will definitely be a focus. And I truly hope today actually develops properly so we can have some good setups tomorrow as well. Now again on the DXY, we are building that potential weekly imbalance area, so I still keep this in mind. I remind myself every day about that because potentially maybe this week is maybe not going to move in order for next week to move, because if we have that weekly imbalance print, then we can tap into it and then we can continue potentially going lower. But so far, I am bearish on the dollar as we potentially forecasted. We have this daily imbalance going lower. Structure is also bearish. We thought that it's going to tap in and then potentially we're going to start rolling down. But as you can see, so on Monday, we came in, we tapped into the imbalance. But again, Monday was in preparation for Tuesday when we had the CPI, and then the CPI came up very nicely and also very nicely rejected. What I also liked is that we didn't really close above the previous daily high in terms of a body close. So actually today, this morning, I thought that we could potentially start rolling down. But so far, judging by the daily candle, we see that this is not happening. Then of course, we jump onto the 4-hourly time frame where we had a little bit of a shift of momentum towards the upside, right? We have this bearish range, but we have this 4-hourly imbalance right here. The market tapped it in, pushed up, good, nice. Then we have this bullish one that got failed. And then on that failure, we had a very, very tiny little bearish one right here. So what I essentially also, while doing my morning analysis this morning for the team, I said, well, this current candle is going to be very, very, very key, because if we actually do not push lower right now in London Open, and if this candle does not reject above this candle's high, then I think we could actually potentially even start targeting these highs, in the DXY might turn a little bit bullish. Now, this is slightly bit premature to say, and what is my thought process behind this is that if the market was going to go bearish, I think it should have gone already in London. We had the manipulation that could potentially be the weekly high on Tuesday. We had an imbalance going lower that came in, rejected. So of course, this candle should have potentially pushed lower. I don't want to say should have or must have, because that's the wrong language. But again, it's potential things that I'm kind of requiring from the market in order to get into a trade. And you can see like when I was actually looking to trade, it rejected. It looked like it wanted to push down. But again, the 11 a.m. candle for me opened, started popping higher. And right now we're having a 1-hourly imbalance potentially being created going higher in exactly 1 hour. So I do not like this. Not necessarily I do not like this, but I do not like this for shorts. So again, if you're looking for shorts in the dollar, absolutely wait, right? So right now I am once again going to be waiting, if of course it's going to go short, for the market to print lower. Now, of course, we're going to have a 4-hourly candle close here. If the next 4-hourly candle also forms an imbalance going higher, then I can already say that we're going to be taking out this high, and then maybe we're going to go all the way up towards that next daily imbalance. All right, so again, very key right now today, especially today, to see if we're going to have a 4-hourly imbalance going higher, because that is going to determine whether we go higher or potentially chop and go lower. Again, if the market was going to go down, it should have gone down today. Of course, it's still not very late for it to go down. But if we don't see it go down by the end of the day, then potentially we can already forecast this daily high to be taken. And after that daily high, we have that daily imbalance. So again, guys, watch out the 4-hourly time frame, which doesn't look like it wants to shift down as of yet. But of course, that could very quickly change. Now, Euro USD, once again, we're having that daily imbalance that we forecasted. The market came in on Monday, but Monday didn't matter because we had the CPI. After the CPI, we very nicely rejected, and we also here swept the previous Monday's low, and we rejected. So this morning, I was bullish on EU, and I was bullish for another reason as well. Not only that we rejected below the previous daily low, but we also had that tiny little bit of an imbalance on the 4-hourly time frame going higher, which kind of draws me towards this target, which is the previous daily high. We had a tap in, rejecting, then the second candle started rejecting as well. So that already showed me that it potentially wants to go higher. But then on the hourly time frame, it got super, super messy. And this is my first trade of the week, and it's a loss. I cut it before full stop loss, but it doesn't matter. I kind of rushed into it. So what I was essentially looking at is that the market swept this low on the Frankfurt open candle, and then on London candle, it looked like, of course, by the time I was taking the trade, it looked like this 1-hourly candle wants to just blast through the roof and start targeting this high, which is a very easy target, according to me. But no news this morning, no news even today, I'd say. So it looks like we are lacking a lot of momentum. My trade was taken roughly around from here on the lower time frame, and I had stop loss below here. And of course, I was looking to target that high as a TP. I'm not going to go into the 5-minute and into the 1-minute to potentially show the entry. It was taken probably somewhere above right here. And as the market pushed, took out the high, then as I started seeing 5-minute against me, as I started seeing also imbalances being respected right here, I cut the trade somewhere right there. And yeah, eventually would have been a stop loss. So again, not very happy, but again, I don't think it's I don't want to blame the market. I don't want to also blame myself because the trade looked absolutely good. I planned it in the morning, it looked pretty good, it failed to follow through, and right now we are back into a chop. So what I could say is either just skip EU, also as I'm gonna show you, like GU and AU and all the rest of the pairs, they're not looking very good, and potentially wait for tomorrow. But again, I don't want to wait too much as well because we always wait for news. But of course, that is potentially when the market is going to move. We see that we're having a lot of consolidations nowadays, so it's of course tricky. So right now, if I actually want to take a long on EU, I'd like to once again see the DXY start rejecting lower, and I want to see 1-hourly imbalances going higher, driving me towards that daily high. If this doesn't happen, then of course we can potentially even expect lower prices, but that is still too early to say. Now, GU is also choppy as hell. It was nice yesterday, actually. So what we have here is once again that weekly imbalance being created. Let's see if it actually gets created this week. It will be very interesting for next week, potentially. Daily time frame, we have that beautiful imbalance. The market already tapped on Monday, but again, we disregard Monday. Then Tuesday comes in, sweeps that previous daily high, but it doesn't really sweep it because we have a body closure below it. This is immediately a red flag for me, saying that GU might not actually want to go higher. And as you can see, I had marked these 4-hourly zones right here, but we tapped the first one. We tried to push, we failed, and exactly at that time, you potentially know that it's going to go for something lower, which in this case was the daily. What we also did is we formed a 4-hourly bearish right here. Very nice expansion lower, creating another one. So if you actually have a look at GU, it looks rather bearish to me right now. There are no bullish signs whatsoever. This is why I preferred to trade EU this morning, but the bastard ended up chopping around. GU, like, kind of when you then go to the hourly time frame, it gets extremely choppy, right? At first, it took out the Asian low, and at that time, I told my team, well, right now, if we disrespect this 50-minute bearish imbalance and we make a TC, then I do believe we could potentially trade into that 4-hourly imbalance. But again, you can see the market just took out Asian high, and then it just rolls all the way down to the low. This is not nice price action. It's just overall choppy, not respecting bearish, not respecting bullish, not respecting anything. So guess what? I am pretty much calling it a London session. I'm not going to be looking to get involved into anything else. unless something happens. Because right now, I don't even have a forecast. 4-hourly time frame imbalance above here, 1-hourly time frame doing nothing. So again, I am just simply waiting. DAX had a lovely trade yesterday, but it developed in a very shitty fashion. So here I thought we were going to be going down to the weekly time frame. We did not, strangely enough, we did not. But what we had here on Monday, it was a very nice pop higher that kind of started driving us towards new all-time highs. CPI came in and it tapped into that 4-hourly zone that perfectly aligned with this overall sell to buy. But then I was looking for a 15-minute entry and it got all choppy. And then by the time it started to impulse, it just crazy impulse. So I don't want to say I missed this one. It wasn't just given the entry that I was looking for. And yeah, pretty much right now we are back at all-time highs. We are back at creating a new daily imbalance potentially today. So today I am skipping DAX because tomorrow I'm going to be looking for it to come into the daily imbalance and then to potentially trade it higher. If this daily imbalance fails, then that is going to make a way towards the weekly imbalance. So again, watch them out, because if one of them fails, like even if you have a 4-hourly time frame right now, there it is. Even if you have a 4-hourly time frame, if that fails, that means it's going to go to the daily. If the daily fails, that means it's going to go to the weekly. And then of course you get this kind of what do you call it? I don't know. You get like they fall like dominoes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and everything falls. So that is DAX. Not looking to trade it today, looking for that daily imbalance to form. Aussie USD, very nice. So again, here, similar to the rest, we're forming a potential weekly imbalance. Truly want to see this form if we're going to go bullish next week. Daily tapped in on Monday, Tuesday took it out, and Wednesday right now it's so far very choppy. And I immediately disregarded AU because we don't have anything on the 4-hourly time frame. It's a very big CPI wick and nothing here inside. Hourly time frame, nothing as well. So I'm not looking at it. I'm not looking at it. Again, what I would like to see is potentially hourly or 4-hourly structure and imbalances starting to point higher towards that high. But I also suspect we could chop around maybe for next week. But again, we have PPI tomorrow, so that could shake out the market. But again, not going to jump into anything to analyze here because simply there is nothing. NZUSD, we guys all have the same setup across all the pairs, but right now we're seeing the dollar being a little bit slight bit of a bastard and it doesn't follow through. And you can see right now daily imbalance here not looking good. Not looking good. That means it could potentially make a way lower to the lower one. Let's see, right? We have NZUSD. It tapped into the daily. Right now we did have a 4-hourly imbalance higher, but also another thing, of course, you should be reading is the overall market sentiment. Nothing goes higher right now. EU, GU, AU, nothing like the DXY, nothing is supporting a potential long idea right here. So again, you can see immediately the market starts to blast through that 4-hourly zone here and making bearish hourly. So again, not necessarily I'm going to trade it lower, but I could potentially forecast that if this 4-hourly imbalance gets engulfed and it gets broken and we start having hourly imbalances pointing lower, I could potentially forecast that minimum this low could get taken, which is the overall hourly low. And then, of course, if we start getting order flow, then, of course, we can also take the 4-hourly low. So again, if you're looking for longs on NU, watch out. We don't have any signs. Indices traveling towards all-time highs. Again, I was looking to trade them yesterday. I actually have, I think I have a paper trade running right there. Check it out. Not really. Probably on another account. This is trading Fanatic. Doesn't really matter. So I was looking for longs yesterday, but again, after CPI, it got quite tricky. Now on the daily time frame, I thought we could potentially roll down because we didn't have a lot of bullish signs. But once again, you just wait another day, and the market gives you another sign. Here we have a very nice fall imbalance. Also strange that here it looked different on another broker that I use. We are overall kind of aligning here. There was an overall sell to buy, so there was another bullish candle here. Not sure why it changed. We tapped in very nicely, and then yet again I was looking for potential 15-minute setups here, but it got all tricky. Then I saw another setup that I took on paper though. We started making 1 hourly going higher from an hourly imbalance right here, and then I used a 5-minute entry exactly right here. So I'm actually still running in that trade. looks like this, and targeting all-time highs. And today I'm going to be looking to actually live trade it because we're getting very close to all-time highs. And the again, if we ask the question, okay, how are we going to be getting there potentially? What I see is that we have a fall imbalance right here. Again, we are very close to all-time highs, so I kind of have a feeling that we might just pop higher on New York Stock Exchange open. But if we do not, and if we pull back lower to that quality zone, I am going to be taking a trade, not necessarily targeting all-time highs. Why? Because we're going to be having a potential daily imbalance today. So if you actually want the highest probability trade, wait for today. But again, the only risk you have then is that the daily is going to push up, take out all-time highs, and then as we take all-time highs, the probability immediately decreases because at all-time highs, you don't have anything to target and you don't know when the market is going to reverse, where it's going to go. It's not nice, right? So either wait for daily candle, and if we have daily imbalance after today, I'm going to trade it tomorrow. But of course, I'm also going to try to trade it today if we have a nice sharp spike below, and then potentially looking to trade it higher with that overall bullish order flow that is pointing us towards all-time highs. Same thing for NASDAQ. I was looking for a quick short trade here. Again, although this candle here doesn't look like it already, you can see it within the candle as well. If you study the candle, it already pushed up massively and it already rejected lower massively. So it doesn't make sense to print yet another big candle to tap in here, then to go towards targets, right? But of course, we did forecast that this low could get taken. This low got taken, and it actually respected very nicely on the daily. We had a very nice daily rejection candle, sweeping potentially this daily low. And then what we have is this sort of hourly bullish imbalance, also aligning with this overall sell to buy that took liquidity. So that was a very powerful formation right here. I mean, even if you wanted to take it like that, that would have been a pretty good trade. Then targeting all-time highs is a very nice swing trade. So again, like what I'm working on right now works on absolutely every single time frame. It's all about kind of putting them all together. Now here on NASDAQ, we already took out that 4-hourly resistance. And if you actually have a look at it on the 1-hourly, we had the 4-hourly come in here, rejection into that hourly imbalance. And I also took a trade, a long trade here on NAS, but I just took it towards the highs, not actually swinging it to all-time highs. And right now, again, we have that overall bullish order flow. So again, this one has a lot more space towards all-time highs. So potentially if today we ping into this very nice fall imbalance and then start shifting on hourly, start shifting on 15 and 5-minute time frame. Again, if one of them shifts, usually the other one is going to shift. Then I will be looking for long. So pretty much today, after I'm done with London session and taking my loss on EU, not striking anymore, one bullet, one loss, done. I am going to try my luck again in New York, potentially wanting to trade longs on the indices. This is US 30. I'm not looking at US 30. This is why I was a bit, okay, what is this? So yeah, we are similar here. We're not taking any lows. And right now we're having an expansion daily candle. So what I immediately can forecast is we're going to be taking out this high, potentially. The next high is right here. So these ones are potentially to remain intact. And then again, on the hourly time frame, we see the market tries to push lower. It doesn't form any imbalances. That again, what does it suggest? It suggests lack of momentum. On the way higher, we form one bullish, we form two bullish. CPI comes in, takes it out. Very nice response. And we printed another one that already gets tapped, right? But we're out of session. And potentially is going to make its way towards that high. So if you're trading US 30, it actually looks quite good. It actually looks quite good for longs. But right now, the lower time frames are not going to be very tricky. I do believe this one can just pop higher on the open. And that is also my, not fear, but something that I don't want to see happen on NAS and SPX, them just popping higher towards all-time highs. But if we do get some sort of a pullback, I would be interested to get in. JP-wise, I'm not interested at all. So we're having daily imbalances lower. If you actually have a look, we had a new one form here after Monday. This one is fully blown, right? So the next one, of course, is going to be this one. This one also got tapped. We're not seeing a clear rejection, so I don't like it. I really don't like it. Then you go to the hourly time frame. It turned bullish. It's kind of, you can see it actually within UJ. You can see the bullishness. quality bullish here, had another bullish here, actually ended up holding, and then we have right now another bullish printing here. Most recent target, the previous daily high, right? So that is not a bad one. Actually, if I look at it, then hourly time frame supporting the idea going higher as well. But overall, it is choppy. So I wouldn't really touch it right now while the DXY is making its mind on what it wants to do. Same exact thing with the other JPYs. So Euro JPY, nothing on the daily. So then on the quality time frame, it again does look a little bit more bullish, but I'm not interested because we don't have any JPY news, we don't have any Euro news, we don't have any GBP news anymore. All the focus goes on the USDs, yet the USDs are once again choppy. So full circle back at it, I want to see how the next 4 hours are going to develop. Now again, I don't like this candle, but if of course the next candle starts printing lower and starts breaking these lows, only then I can potentially confirm that bearish bias. But if of course that does not happen, I would potentially start expecting longs. So today turns out to be a little bit of a waiting day. I didn't expect today to turn out like this. Look at that choppiness, the bastard took out the low. Nah, it's just very, 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 very choppy. So guys, let's just wait. The only potential setups I see incoming are on the indices if they actually give a pullback, and if not, calling it a day and coming back tomorrow, because tomorrow we have PPI, and hopefully we can finally have something clear. So far it has been tricky, honestly. Like, we had a little period of nice price action, and then it gets all tricky once again, but we have to show up. We have to stay disciplined as well, to not like take any unnecessary losses, because yeah, the market oftentimes gives something that looks good, but then it doesn't look good, like EU today. But it was, of course, if it's according to the plan, then make sure to take it. So that's from me. Talk to you on Saturday. Let me know how you're doing so far this week. What do you think of the markets? And looking forward to hearing from you.